Hey guys, this is Em and I'm here to talk kids ministries. Alright, so we have had not much happen in the last 6 months on kids ministries. There's not been that many posts, there's not been that many, or probably any blogs per se, just a couple of things here and there. And that's because I've been on a bit of a break and just enjoying to sit. My theme for the start of the year was Mary for a while. Obviously, the story of Mary and Martha was cumbered about with so much serving and so much stuff. And Jesus said, well, Mary chosen the right thing. She chose to sit at the feet of Jesus. And I had to take a bit of a break and just sit and be filled as I was running, I guess, a little on empty. And so it's been encouraging. It's been very different for me. But it's been exciting just to watch how God's working and how God's doing some changes, and just being able to stop a little bit, which is challenging but exciting at the same time. But in this 6-month period of having a rest, I was able to catch up with some of you, which was nice. Some of you I'd never met before, and I got the privilege to meet you, and that was really nice. And just to some of you have even got to see the ministry that you're involved in, the kids ministries, and that was super exciting and encouraging. And just different conversations we had has kind of sparked some ideas. And as we look at the next 6 months of where we are heading with kidsministries.com.au and the socials. So tonight I'm going to give you guys a bit of a, hey, keep an eye out for this and this and that, and some things that we will change and remove. So, not remove, but finish off there. So, it has been a beautiful 6 months, and as we look at seeing what God will do in the next 6 months. And I hope your ministries have been going well. I hope you are having fun with the kids and just enjoying that time. A couple of things. Actually, before we do a couple of things starting, we will do a quick update of what we did have. If you've never followed or never seen anything before, obviously we had blogs and videos and ideas. And some of that was random ideas, which we will keep because I just love random. The other one was thumbs up and thumbs down. We will actually can that one. As much as I love the concept, I discovered that most of my thumbs down were actually games for teenagers. I was actually struggling to figure out my thumbs down with kids. So it's easier to come up with thumbs up for kids. That's ideas that have been flops and ideas that have worked. And so we're going to can that. Obviously, there is still the one available about the balloons, and you can check that out. And, there is different things that will work for certain age groups. There's different things that will work for certain dynamics of kids. Say, for example, I've tried some things with kids from state schools. And I've tried some things with homeschool kids. Obviously, the dynamic is totally different, and some things will work and some things won't. And it just depends on what your kids are and what they're like, whether they're active, whether they're quiet. Obviously, a lot of things will affect that. One of our other topics was, connecting with parents, which I still have not finished all of the episodes for that. I have actually recorded some, but I have not edited them. So we will finish doing them. I think there was 7 ways to connect with parents that I had in mind. And there was one more. What was it? Props and decorations and stuff like that. Obviously, we'll keep that there, but that probably won't be used much. So some of these won't actually be used super lots, and I won't be publishing or putting videos together as probably regularly as I may have at one point. So we're going to spread it out a little bit, if you would. Now, for things that are coming. Oh, there was one new thing that was additioned that was to the stories. If you're in Instagram and if you're in Facebook, it was put as a post. And that's the feasting faves. And that's just sharing messages that I've heard and been encouraged from that maybe could be an encouragement to you, which I have to add another one to that. I just remembered. Oh yes, Chit Chat is coming up. So Chit Chat, we will be doing some videos with some other people, doing a bit of a kind of conversation, questions, and enjoying some time. And a big shout out to Lyndall for making these. So Chit Chat will be something that we will maybe aim to do maybe 4 over the year. So obviously being 6 months, we will aim to do 2 this year. With Chit Chat, I've got the 2 in mind that I want to do. And so I'll be looking forward to that. They may actually happen relatively soon, hopefully. So that is exciting. That is a total different style because, hey, I mean, it's just boring if I'm just in the conversation. It'd be a whole much more fun having other people join in and we can talk about different things. So I've got a couple of good ideas for that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. And so I'll keep you posted about that. There's 2 more things. Now, one of those things I'm not going to reveal yet because over this 6-month period, there's been a couple of questions asked and there's been a couple of conversations happened which have been kind of sparking some things, and we'll see where this goes. But one of those things is one of the conversations that I've had with some of you guys is the difficulty on doing those annual events. And that's like Christmas, Easter, and missions conference. And it doesn't mean that they are difficult events to do, but for kids ministries, often if you're a Sunday school, children's church, or a kids club, often you will have an age variety and you have those kids for multiple years. And what can happen is because it's a topic we know and a topic that we're used to doing every year, we can get in a bit of a rut where we do, oh yeah, it's Christmas. Oh yeah, I know that story. And we don't put as much heart into it as we should. Now, funny thing with that is you take Christmas, for example, or Easter, for example, how much effort does the world put into those events? You say, well, yes, they're commercializing it. They're making money out of it, which they are, but we should actually do more effort into putting into those lessons and times. Why? Because kids are hearing about CNA, kids are hearing about different things, and we should get so excited and make them get excited about hearing about Jesus and the story behind those reminders that are so key to our faith and what we believe. So, one of the first things that I will be looking at will be missions. Obviously, I may have thrown a couple of ideas out around Easter, and then coming up closer to Christmas, we'll look at throwing a couple of ideas out for that. So, missions. Missions is a bit of a passion of mine, so I'm super excited about this, and we'll be spreading it out over quite a few months, so it's not so jam-packed. Now, this could be absolutely anything, okay, about missions. It could be a teaching object lesson, it could be a style, it could be a game or activity or a craft. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to break up the missions into 4 categories, all right? And I'm going to tell you what all 4 categories are. So, with missions, I don't actually have a name for this. So I want you guys to help me come up with a name for this missions theme or this, as we theme this with missions and coming up with ideas that can help maybe be a benefit or maybe you can use. So, missions. Obviously, every church is different on how long they do missions. Some people might go, okay, we've got missions conference, so if you just do something this week. Some people might go, if you do this month. So everybody does different things for missions. But like I said, we're going to break it up into the 4 categories. Let me tell you what those 4 categories are and tell you a little bit about those 4 categories. Which one do you think you've used the most? All right. So number 1, I think personally is probably the most popular with missions conference, with a missions theme, is your missionaries. So each church supports different missionaries, and you all have those prayer letters, you all have those missionaries you support. So it's very common to teach kids about these missionaries and about the countries they go to. So that's theme 1, probably the most commonly used one, I think. But tell me, when we get all 4, which one is it for you that you use the most? Number 2, missionaries of the past. This is especially good for older kids as you look at missionaries from the past. You know, if I did a survey, I would be curious actually to do this survey with a whole bunch of teenagers. I might even do it, we'll see. Doing a survey with a whole bunch of teenagers, I'll probably find most teenagers have not read a missionary biography. Some of them may not even know much about missionaries of the past. And so that is category number 2, probably a good one for older kids. It's a little harder to teach younger kids those kind of stories, but it is very exciting. I know as a kid, I was not a reader, so I didn't read it, but I was blessed. I had my sister who loved reading, who would read to me. And she used to read me my favorite missionary stories or biographies. Number 3, missionaries in the Bible. Okay, so now this is not just determined or restricted to the New Testament, because there was missionaries in the Old Testament, like for example, Noah. Hey, he was a missionary. He told the people there's going to be a flood. The only way to get saved is get in the boat. And they didn't listen. He was a missionary. Hey, how about Jonah? Jonah wasn't a willing missionary, but he did eventually go. He did eventually share. The whole nation got saved, and he still was so sad about it. But anyway, you get the picture. There is missionaries throughout Acts, throughout the New Testament, and throughout the Old Testament. Many great stories to share with kids and to get excited about and passionate about. The last one, personally, I believe is the least used. And maybe you can tell me what's the least used for you, what's the most used, and what's the least used for you. That would be cool. But the one I think that we often forget about is your class is a mission field. So sharing the gospel in a way that's unique and has a missions emphasis on in your class is a really exciting way to be able to kind of do a gospel message, but maybe in a unique way. And there's many different ways we can do that. And so this is the 4 exciting things or 4 exciting categories that I've put in missions. Maybe you could think of something else that I've missed or forgot about, but it would be exciting to share a whole bunch of different ideas for those 4 categories. So I can't wait, but mission whatever has no name. So you got to send me 3 things, right? A name suggestion for this section, mission whatever, ideas. What is the one that you've used the most, and what is the category you haven't used? Maybe there's more than one you haven't used. I don't know. But tell me what you think. And keep an eye out for the next things that are coming up. And remember that secret that is still to come. I am super excited about what that might be. I may have already started some recording for that announcement. I couldn't help myself. I was in the perfect spot. I was even in a perfect spot, a more perfect spot, but I thought I might get in trouble for recording there. So keep an eye out and we will see what happens. God bless your ministries, and let's see what God does with all these kids ministries.